the boy and go hide in the loft.
I'm here to collect Mr. Hawthorne's rent! Shut that please! Before I get you open the Christ almighty! Johnny Fletcher busted into a farmhouse on his property.
You bring me back that stuff false.
Well, well, look at what we have here. Please don't kill me.
Gentleman John Fletcher! Damn it!
Johnny Fletcher! Don't make me chase you!
I didn't kill nobody. I didn't murder that family.
That don't break me down to me. The bounty hunter, you're a wanted man. Here.
Out of the night that covers me, black is the pit from pole to pole. I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeoning of chance, my head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade. And yet the menace of the years finds, and shall find me, unafraid. It matters not how straight the gates, how charged the punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
Stand down and no one has to die today.
This only ends one way.
They'll kill you all.
Why not take your chances in a prison cell?
Alright, I'm coming out.
My lord, I have a report.
Speak.
Our latest assassination attempt on Lady Nocturne has failed.
I can see stronger measures are needed. Begin phase 2.
Captured! The notorious Lady Nocturne has been brought in through the valiant efforts of the Void Cobras.
Get on the damn bird.
Prisoner, take 5 steps, then stop and turn your right.
But the pirates of Velix Mortis are far from defeated.
My lord, I have a report.
Let's cut to the chase, since we both know that this isn't a social call and you didn't come here to waste time.
Fine. High Command is gambling that the attempt on your life by your so-called friends has made you willing to cooperate. Am I wasting my time now?
What fate will befall the disgraced former pirate?
The Minotaur sends his regards, traitor.
What does your High Command want, and what are they offering in return?
High Command wants many things, but it wants to show a good faith first.
Go.
what next for now infamous mercenaries, the Void Cobras?
I want every last pirate I used to run with dead. I don't want to be watching over my shoulder every hour of every day.
Now you die!
Will the Void Cobras become targets of Lady Nocturne's former pirate comrades?
Attention, crash override. This is Freighter Ebony Hawk. My ship just lost all power and thrust. We're going down. Mayday, mayday, mayday.
There truly is no honor among thieves. You rabble will turn on each other at the slightest provocation.
Okay, Clyde, moving past you.
Find out on the next episode of Star Citizen Nocturne.
Jameson, you copy?
Touch me now, I don't want to live without you. Nothing's gonna change my love for you.
Jameson, we require immediate emergency extract.
I don't know, man. It looks kind of hot over there.
Of interest in my life to idiots.
Okay, got it working, Sarge.
Alright, Corporal. Good work. Follow me! Y'all remember what Sarge said? Stay together, keep comms clear, and heads on the swivel. Clear. Okay, we're gonna secure it, then sweep the entire ship for survivors. Channel, you take point. Doc, you're behind me. Corporal, you're bringing up the rear.
Understood, Sergeant.
Taking track. Oh shit, I just saw something.
god, oh my god!
Get the hell out of here!
Get him off me, get him off me, get him off me! They're getting in my armor! Ah!
I got into collecting bounties when a gang of bandits bushwhacked my wife, my best friend Coyote, and me. Meet the Jones brothers.
Take a look at the situation in which you find yourself.
That's Joshua.
Gonna have real bad.
What's the Indian word for
Next to him is Rufus the Doofus.
Like, I don't know. You're just trying to make me look dumb.
Alright, I want to
Next
see
to
right
him is
on the
Lyman.
ground.
Remember those faces.
And 6.
You'll see him again.
8 hands praising Jesus.
The other ones, well, ain't no use in introducing. They're all dead.
Run! Obadiah, get the saddlebags! I got them!
I later discovered the Jones brothers were all wanted men. I figured I might as well get paid for taking my revenge.
Man, they still want it for justice. The post is still on the wall?
So I hunted down the ones we didn't kill. Lyman, he sang like a bird. Rufus and Joshua were smuggling contraband down the river. Always to the same spot. I found a nice perch on a bluff above the river where I knew they would eventually be. During the war, I was a sharpshooter. Coyote's Whitworth came in handy. For weeks, I tracked them. Then I killed them.
hear him saying that you can move the chain.
If you like our content, we'd appreciate if you'd like, subscribe, and get notifications. Help us extend our reach by sharing our video content. And if you want to help us beat the algorithm, also leave us a comment on some of our videos.
Hello.
Oh, not a good start there, Big Sarge. Not a good start at all. Welcome, everyone.
Yeah, we can't hear you, man.
Big Sarge will be right back with us as soon as he is done punting his audio equipment out of a window. No, it's still not working. You know, maybe a drink would help with this.
Huh.
Oh, no.
Oh, wait.
He's got it. He's got it. Let's see this. It should be good. We all know Mikey's behind this.
Yeah.
How about now?
Yeah, now. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, we could have him going still. Yeah, we can hear you.
So I have an audio box on my computer where I plug in my guitars, bass, electric drum set, etc. when I'm recording music. And if I restart my computer and that thing doesn't turn back on, all my audio goes. So that's what it was. Anyway. Anything interesting happening today?
Man.
Start of martial law.
Yeah, I've been. Wow, this is what my fourth podcast live stream something today because of the events that have happened over the past 72 insane hours.
I don't know if you guys saw it right before we came on air here. There were pictures out on MSNBC. I think somebody else had video of the National Guard troops going around with ICE, helping to kick in doors, grab people.
I'm sorry, they're what? They're going with ICE? They're escorting ICE?
With ICE. They're going with ICE. They're armed. They're fully kitted out. They're kicking doors and dragging out brown people.
And we're sure.
I saw the same thing.
You saw it too.
God
damn it.
What I saw it on was a picture of ICE agents arresting some dude in the background with their backs to the camera, and in the foreground were two kitted out guys, presumably National Guard, because they had dirty pants legs, and one of them had a combat patch for 25th Infantry Division. So this was on a Facebook page called Feminist News, and I don't know how accurate it is. I have seen I've
seen more photos than just that one, I should say.
I'm seeing a statement that there are unconfirmed reports from 2nd Battalion Marines out of wherever the fucking 29 Palms, Pamela Henderson, whatever, that they're refusing, their leadership is refusing to comply with orders to go to LA, stating that JAG has advised them not to go because it's against the Posse Comitatus Act. And
Right. Wait.
therefore
Where are you
you
seeing
them-
this?
This is somebody's breaking news, blah, blah, blah thing on Blue Sky. So I don't know how accurate it is.
Yeah.
It's just a thing that I've seen.
Yeah, I'd have to wait
also
for some confirmation on that.
Yeah. I've
I mean,
also
it's-
seen some dude saying that General Mattis has put out a statement. But if you look at the text, it's from like 5 years ago. So
Yeah. I saw that one too.
they're saying it's current. I'm like, nah.
No, it's not.
So
You're
the
correct.
disinformation has started.
Oh, this information started years ago.
Yeah.
They laid the groundwork for this shit for a while. But yeah,
Yeah,
there's
I'm looking
a
at the
lot of
comments.
information coming in at the same time, and verifying things is a bit challenging, especially with AI and photo editing being what it is these days.
Right.
I mean, look, that guy might have MS-13 just written in Arial font on his knuckles. You don't know. You can't say.
That's one of the top 10 most embarrassed I've ever been for a
Honestly.
president.
Oh, it was so great. And I had just finished. They're probably not watching this, but I just finished arguing with someone who right-leaning associate who was just laying into me like, you tried to say they were faking it onto the MS-13, but no one could be dumb enough to fall for that. It's so obvious. It's Photoshop. You're an idiot, libtard. You couldn't tell. Obviously, it's not there. It's not there to fool anyone. And then, not 24 hours later, his orange messiah is on the news going, "No, I'm pretty sure it's absolutely this here. You didn't see it. The picture. It was perfect. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful picture. A picture of his fingers. And right there, written there, was MS-13. You could see it. I could see it."
This is the one where he wrote it in like MS Paint, Comic Sans font or some shit.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's
the laziness of it's the laziness that's killing me, man. And because people need to hear the choir speak so bad, they're like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Man, look, we are at a whole nother level of ridiculous now. I mean, let me put it this way. I said earlier today on Lincoln Project that I never thought in my entire life, my entire career, but my entire life, that I would not have to sit there and hear that they are scrambling to come up with rules of engagements for Marines to deploy in Los Angeles, in the United States. They're scrambling to come up with rules of engagement because there has never been a need to have rules of engagement for the active damn duty military to deploy in the United States.
Just use the ones from that movie from Battle of Los Angeles that had Aaron what's his nut in it.
But hey, and I know it's going to sound crazy, but I honestly believe that Trump and Hegseth, them two in particular, think that this is all a movie, and they have to do the best Steven Seagal 89 impersonation they can come up with, because that's what this seems like. That's what it seems like.
You qualified that with 89, so
yes.
Yeah.
I'm old enough to know the damn difference between Seagals, and here, but that's what they're doing, right? And here's the thing: you got 19, 18-year-old kids caught up in this crap that, God forbid, if one of them actually shoots another American here in the next few days because of something, they will be scarred for life and they will never live it down. And it won't be their fault because they should never have been there in the goddamn first place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it feels like it's all bait for a disaster.
It is.
You're putting at most 2,000 plus 700, 2,700 troops who are not trained for this into the midst of 88,000 LA County law enforcement, and something between last estimates that I saw here were between 160 and 180,000 locals who are out on the street in protest, plus a city of 8 million people that are just trying to go about their business. And they're like, "Yep, we're going to send in 700 Marines. They're going to secure the entire city." You have no idea how big LA is.
Have you guys looked at the timeline of all of this? This did not become a thing. This time last week, we weren't talking about any of this.
Yeah.
But you know what we were talking about? Elon Musk
Romance.
saying that Trump is all over the Epstein files.
It's true.
That's when we started this. And then here's the distraction. Here's the shiny object over here because he's all up and down it. And the FBI was asked about it. And you know, your boy, what's his face? Kash Patel didn't want to deal with it on Joe Rogan's show, you know, when he was going over there to kiss, you know, the ass of the bro lord himself. And didn't have the testicular fortitude to sit there and say, hey, I can't release it. The president won't let me. Or Pam Blondie saying the same crap, right? All of this happened. And then all of a sudden we see that Stephen Miller comes in there like, we got to go, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden they're raiding Home Depot parking lots.
Right.
The narrative have changed. Has anybody talked about Epstein in the last 24 hours?
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Some wag the dog shit.
But tell me if I'm wrong.
No.
I'm wrong.
Spot on.
Chat, tell me if I'm wrong. I'm looking at y'all right now. I'm a pretty simple guy. I'm a pretty simple dude, but I am smart enough to see when we were all talking about this and the breakup of the bromance between Trump and Musk, and then all of a sudden we're talking about this. I'm just saying.
And, you know, now you bring up Kash Patel. When he was asked about it before the congressional oversight, he had said that, well, I don't know that it's intact. I don't know what's been released. I don't know what's going to be released. I know, we may have lost some things. And it's just like, back up a second. Now we're saying, maybe we've lost some things. Like what fell out of the folder in the last 2 months there, Cash?
We'll see. Rude interpreted Janet. She's like, yeah, it still has been brought up, but it is a distraction. Right. And I guess my point is the whole media was following Trump and Musk after he said what he said, like a bad teenage drama.
Of course.
That was all they talked about. I literally thought I was watching talk shows that were supposed to be news. Right. Now, here's the thing. Trump is willing to sacrifice any and everybody to protect himself. I know for a fact, when you look at the body language, when you look at Kash Patel's body language, when he was asked about that, did you notice how he shifted? The eyes got bigger. When him and Dan Bongino sat down for the interview, when they were asked directly about Epstein, they were like, he killed himself. Now, these clowns, and I'm talking bozo on steroid clowns, made a goddamn professional living off of questioning Epstein's death and his circumstances.
It's true.
They got rich off of it. And now all of a sudden, it was how it happened. You know why? Because Trump was like, you're going to sit here and you're not going to tell a soul, but this is what happened. They know.
Honestly, neither of those guys should be playing poker.
Oh,
because you can see it on their faces. You can absolutely see it on their faces.
Freaking Bongino, Mr. Tommy Tough Nuts, I'm like, yeah, with his little bald head because he's balding. Just sitting there, I'm a tough guy. Looks like the biggest punk ass bitch when sitting in front of Fox asking, hey, what happened here? I mean, we talk about accountability. Now, I know Bongino was Secret Service and police. He wasn't military. But there's still a level of integrity when you take a job that has an oath.
Yeah.
He knows he's a hypocrite. Kash Patel knows he's a hypocrite. I mean, the fact that he sat at the confirmation hearings for FBI director and completely dodged all of this. It's insanity that, and again, I'm just going to put the shoe on the other foot. Lord help us if Barack Obama even sniffed doing this. That's the litmus test. And then the last point I'll bring up to start this whole evening off, gentlemen, the parade that's supposed to happen in D.C. Have y'all signed up for your VIP packages yet? If y'all don't know, go to Google chat. Go and Google America 250 parade, and you can see that you can purchase a VIP package, and depending on how much money you get, you may even get to see the president at a parade where military is forced to march. We're literally pimping the United States Army.
Honestly, are we surprised that he's found a grift for this? Like everything else, just flat out massive bribes, just sending money, and I don't care that you're the head of a drug cartel. You get a pardon. It's wild. And his supporters are just like, they're just righting political wrongs. It was a political prosecution. Like 9 witnesses said this dude shot this dude. What? How was that political?
The man Trump actually had the nerve and audacity to talk about law and order on the tarmac here yesterday. When I'm like, you're the guy that pardoned 1,600 insurrectionists. You're that same dude. More importantly, Stephen Miller is using the word insurrection for what's going on in LA that affects 2 federal buildings, not the federal building on top of Capitol Hill, not that one. No, 2 in LA. 2 in LA. But he's got the nerve to sit there and say insurrection. I mean, let's see. Yeah, of course, yes, he's very transactional, but at the same time, he's burning political capital. The thing is, he has to be held account by everybody right now. And then the doctrine of Trump, because that's the next thing. I don't believe Trump is fully in control of his faculties. I think he's degenerating. I believe his handlers have now taken over.
Agree.
That's the difference between the first and the second term, right? You've got Bannon, you've got Miller, you've got Blondie, you've got freaking, Patel, all these people, Loomer. I mean, why the hell does Laura Loomer even have a voice in this administration? Musk, they're all handlers. And there's a group that are being handled. The group that's being handled is Trump, Hegseth, McMahon. And when I mean handle, for example, I don't know if y'all saw the New York Times article. Hegseth was supposed to take a trip to the Middle East. And they are so fearful of him messing up everything. Period. They said, nope, get your butt on Air Force One with the president. We don't trust you.
They
Right?
don't allow alcohol over there, so
Yeah.
Let me put
That's
this way.
what all they had to do to get him on board with the whole plan and not going is just tell him it's just one big dry town. And he's like, oh, hell no.
Yeah. And sadly, has anybody seen Marco Rubio lately?
No.
He's the Secretary of State, just for people who may forgot. He's the Secretary of State. He's the National Security Advisor. He's the head archivist, and he's the head of USAID. That guy. You would think with 4 jobs, like those old Jamaicans, because I got 4 jobs. I haven't seen him anywhere in 4 different federal roles.
I'm just saying he's gagged in the basement of the White House. Prove me wrong. Tied up, bound, gimp suit, whole 9 yards. Come on.
Who else haven't we seen lately? Someone already pointed this out in the chat. Have you seen JD Vance?
JD Vance.
No, that's correct. We haven't seen him.
He was front and center to yell at Zelensky.
And ever since he yelled at Zelensky, he put a target on his back. But when we stopped seeing him, again, last week is the week everybody needs to focus on. When Operation Spiderweb went down,
yes,
everything changed. Everything. Because now we look back at that scene in the Oval Office, Zelensky was planning. And he's just sitting there looking at these clowns, just like, okay, yeah, we have no cards left to play. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And here we are now, 30%, maybe more of the Russian strategic bombing wing has been taken out.
Yeah.
Taken out.
Aircraft they
can't
can't
with
replace.
no cards. Let me tell that was one of the most.
They took out their nuclear deterrent.
Look, one of the most gangster freaking military maneuvers in modern warfare is what the Ukrainians pulled off. That dude, I kept looking at report after report. My mouth salivated seeing the clandestine level of it, the freaking execution of it. They waited, dude. They could have struck. No, they waited to get all the boys got to the yard when that milkshake was there. They all came, and then it was like boom, 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 and again, has Trump even made a public comment about it?
No, not a public comment, not a one. Look, he can't ever admit that Ukraine has done anything right because then he upsets his boyfriend Vlad, and then that's not good for his future prospects.
Dude. So who's the best war maneuver ever? I mean, and here's the thing: since that strike, not only did the morale of the Ukrainians and stuff, and my buddy, our buddy Ken Harbaugh has gone over there, and here in the last week, and let me tell y'all something. it does the heart good to see David pick up a couple of more stones and keep slinging it at this son of a bitch, right?
It does.
You know, and at some point, we're going to have some Americans that are going to remember what it's like to, I don't know, fight for democracy and be American. You know, Trump and company have done the best they can to make that particular conflict seem like, well, you know, the Ukrainians brought this on themselves. You know, both sides are. No, they were minding their damn business. No, they gave up their nukes in the 90s because they wanted world peace. And the world said they protect them. And we lied to them.
Yep.
We lied to them. And guess what? They're like, they've gone full Thanos. Fine, I'll do it myself. You know what I'm saying? And get the gauntlet and go do what they gotta do.
Yep.
You know,
I mean, we do the same thing to the Kurds. So
yes,
twice.
I mean, we can go down the list. We can go down the list, Sarge. We can go down the list.
Everybody that we fucked over,
man,
in my lifetime,
dude.
It's a list. It's a serious list.
And think about it like this. The other thing I'll ask you guys, because I'm just summarizing here what we've seen in the 6 months, right? Have we heard of any negotiation deals for trade since this whole tariff war started? Because, you know,
none.
All the country was going to rush to us to renegotiate.
90 deals in 90 days, right? 90 deals in 90 days.
Y'all,
There are going to be so many deals, so much money. There's going to be so much money. You're going to get tired of all the winning and all the money that keeps coming in.
Meanwhile, multiple global banks have come out and said, one yesterday, I'm trying to remember which one, said the United States, you know, domestic output will be halved. Their trade output will be halved by the end of the year. I'm so sick and tired of winning.
Fuck.
I mean, I want to start losing if this is winning. I need to lose now. I need to be the Cleveland Browns of international politics if this is winning. This doesn't make any damn sense to me.
So accurate.
I mean, just someone make it make sense.
Yeah. Well, even the details that have emerged, that have leaked out, like that they were going to have this trade deal with the UK, and all that came out was the agreement to discuss the creation of an agreement.
Right,
motherfucker. What?
Right. You expecting fireworks, and everybody shows up and someone just farts and says that's the deal. Yeah. That's the show, people.
It leaked from the Japanese that when they went to negotiate, that the Trump party weren't even asking for it. They had no idea what to ask for. None of them had done this before. No one knew how to do an international trade deal. No one even knew what Trump wanted. So they had taken the meeting, they had scheduled the meeting, they had planned the meeting, they went to the meeting, they had no idea what the fuck they were supposed to do.
I agree. By the way, Vonda T, I apologize. I apologize. You know what I'm saying? I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan, so I shouldn't talk trash to anybody about losing. God dang it. At least y'all have the consistency to do it low key. We do it in spectacular fashion here in Atlanta. Anyway, I
give
just
you props for admitting to be a Falcons fan,
bro. Oh, my dad played for him. I have no choice. I was born into
Your dad played for the Falcons.
Yeah, back in the 70s. Yeah, so I was born into this nonsense down here. But going back to Trump, well, here's another question I got for y'all. Everybody's talking about the bulge that was in his pants, which everybody pretty much agrees is a catheter, right? Can anybody tell me how healthy this man is? Now, there's a whole book that just got released on Joe Biden. Okay, an entire book. Jake Tapper, as a journalist, sat on all this so he can make money. I got issues with that, right? When the story comes out on Donald Trump, say what?
Every administration this happens.
I agree.
Be like,
I agree.
Doesn't tell all books. For this one, though, I feel like,
dude,
everybody that puts out a book, fucking sue them all. And like part of the settlement, you get no profit off this book. Everything that you win, everything that you earn off this goes back to the government to pay off whatever.
I hear you. But guys, look. Oh, by the way, I see you, Chris G, with the Vikings. Yeah. Hell, the Falcons did it to the Vikings in '98. Anyway, no, I hear you. But here's my thing: watching the former press secretary Katrina, what's her name? Tapper released this book. How healthy is Donald Trump? If the question can be asked about Joe Biden, and let's think about this too. Joe Biden failed so spectacularly at that debate that we don't talk about how invalid Trump looked when he was against Harris.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? And now when you see him talk, like today in the Oval Office, talking about LA and this, that, and the other, he's falling on these things that make that it's the comfort of being in a demented state. What's up, Ken?
Hey, can you guys hear me all right? Sorry I'm late.
Yep.
Family
Yes,
stuff.
sir.
Yeah, we
Good
were vamping.
Good to see all the familiar faces. How's everyone doing?
Ken, we were
there's been
just
better
talking
days.
about Operation Spiderweb and what the
Oh my
Ukrainians
God.
pulled off. You just came from over there. Can you please just give us your impressions of what you saw over there?
Yeah.
Were you there when it went down?
I was there when it went down. I think more importantly, I was
didn't
there
know
for
that.
the Russian counterattack, which was unlike anything I've ever seen. I was actually embedded with a kamikaze drone crew at the time. It was supposed to be, a 5-hour evolution. We got stuck at the front for 20 hours. And I lost count. Well, I didn't lose count. I stopped counting after the 8th Russian kamikaze drone hit our position. They were just throwing everything they had at us. And the guys, to their credit, were incredibly cool throughout. They knew what their job was. And, even though this was an unusual night in terms of the number of strikes we were getting, it was kind of a repeat of their daily lives. And it occurred to me, like, this was probably one of the most dangerous things I've ever intentionally done in my life. And these guys do it every damn day. Right?
So you're telling me that's their norm now?
That's their norm. That's their norm. And I will tell you, I'm still clearing. Like, I had a videographer and fixer with me, just some unbelievable footage from my time with this drone team, and that is all still getting cleared. But I can tell you some of what we experienced, even though I can't show you. We had our drone team was flying the kamikaze drones and a surveillance crew, but we were tapped in to the Ukrainian SIGINT that was feeding us the overall picture. And one of the things we could tap into periodically when we would get this feed is the actual view that the Russian drone pilots were seeing. We could hack their drones and see what their drones were seeing as they are approaching our position. And every time one of them would pan over where we were, the guys in our CP would be like, "Not here." No, look at, I mean, you guys know how it is. The gallows humor in wartime is sometimes the only thing that gets you through. And whenever the Russian drone would pan across our partner drone team, the guys in my team would start cheering. It's kind of, obviously they didn't want their friends to get hit. And sadly, our partners did get hit that night. But these guys give entirely new meaning to the term badass. And they were, I think, 22, 23, and 26 years old. And the 26-year-old commander of this unit was on his 3rd consecutive 24-hour shift. He had slept for 2 hours in the last 48, and they sent him back out because they wanted to show the American a good time. Just wild, absolutely wild.
Can I ask this, right? So I saw some of the clips, especially some of your live streams and stuff. People are forgetting this is year 3. So to put this in perspective for the rest of the chat, they're in 1944 as far as World War II is concerned, right? That's the wear and tear that we're talking. The people, though, the non-combatants, I don't even know, is it even fair to say that they're non-combatants, right? Because it's like it is a whole society that is engaged in this. And I think your reporting from there showed that. How are they doing it? The non-uniform members.
I mean, it's tough, right? Especially the kids. I think I keep going back to Mark Milley's observation that armies don't go to war, nations go to war.
Right.
And I think Ukraine has mobilized the entire nation in a way that Russia hasn't. This is a whole of society effort on Ukraine's part. And we spent more time with civilians in real stress this time than we have on past trips, frankly, because the drone strikes were so intense. Typically, when I go to Ukraine and the air raid sirens go off,
Right.
I don't go down to the basement. Right. I sleep
Right.
through it.
Right.
This time we did. For one thing, I had a former congressman with me, and I didn't want to get him killed. So Denver Riggleman and I
was about to say Denver.
we headed down to the bunker, and I'm glad we did, because that night in Odessa was the worst night of the war for Odessa.
Wow.
Drones striking everywhere.
This is the retaliation.
This is the retaliation, which is still ongoing, by the way. The next morning, we headed out at daylight to find where one of these drones had struck, and it just hit this like neighborhood and blew up a bunch of cars. We talked to talked to a bunch of people, but one of the reports I filed was with a Ukrainian man who's like, you know what, this is war, and we knew something like this would happen after we destroyed a third of Putin's bomber fleet. But this is what we have to endure.
First of all, personal note. Dude, when I was, TAO on USS Steedham, I used to track some of those things that got blown up. That I literally watched. I'm like, oh my gosh, they blew up something that I personally tracked. That is so damn cool. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Here's the question: the U.S., our lack of support, is it noticeable to them now? The lack of
it's noticeable. It is noticeable. I went back to one of the same gun crews I visited in the past, and they are shooting down these Shaheds, not with missiles, but with bullets. I mean, they're using whatever they can, and the good stuff all goes to the front, right? So the city defense is manned by, the two main weapons that this crew had was a World War II era Maxim machine gun and a Browning 50 cal. And they're not scoped, right? They're not guided. The best they have are tracers. Hoping and volume of fire. If they put up a wall of lead, they have a chance of knocking down these Shaheds as they fly over the river and turn into Kyiv. But we just pulled, I can't remember how many, but like thousands of missiles off of the promised list of supplies for Ukraine. And every time I see another report of dead Ukrainians in Odessa or Kyiv, civilians, or even Lviv, Kherson, that's every day. I think about the blood that's on our hands, and it just enrages me.
Well, we had to pull the missiles because they got to be paraded down freaking Pennsylvania Avenue. This is where we are. We don't have serious leadership, Ken. Are you kidding me? You get to go over there and come back, and you come back to this. Marines being deployed to LA, National Guard being activated for basically 2 blocks of Los Angeles, a parade that's going to be happening in DC on the 14th. And you just left the most fierce fighting on the planet. I don't know how you I don't know how you're keeping your sanity. I would smack the shit out of somebody at some point because this makes no sense. It makes no sense to me from a military ally or just a basic humanity standpoint.
Yeah. I wish I had an answer for you. It is disorienting, to say the least.
So the Tennessee Bear, we will be decades washing the blood off our hands. And this is the part that bothers me the most. When in American psyche did we say it's okay to abandon not only allies, but those who are fighting the most, in my opinion, the most good versus evil battle we've seen since World War II?
Yeah.
Have there been any conflict since World War II that's more definitive good versus evil than this? I can't think of it. And so I'm at the point where the transactional nature of Trump, right? Syria is going to get Trump towers while Ukraine gets nothing. Let that marinate. This is what's happened in the last month, people. He went over there, struck deals. Syria is now off of the freaking sanctions list. Why? Because Eric and Jr. went over there before Trump arrived and negotiated these deals.
Interesting to note that as of at least last month, the CIA still technically had a $10 million bounty on the president of Syria's head. There's Trump, like a dumbass, posing with him right next to him. we are not consistent with our international messaging.
We're not serious anymore.
We're not
on being the world leader. That is out. Unless there is dollars to be made and to be grifted. Before you got on, Ken, I was talking about, hey, that parade in DC that he's won. Hey, if you donate a certain amount of money, you can get the VIP package. He is using American soldiers, pimping them to grift.
Yep.
$1 million donors get to hang out with the president in special seats up to the front, while you see Johnny and Sally Q and everybody forced to march by. You know, how many soldiers are we talking about at this point? They're talking about 6,000. I think
6,000. That was the number I heard.
6,000. How many tanks?
Sleeping on floors, non-air conditioned.
100
right?
Tanks.
It is a slap in the face to everyone who's worn the uniform from a guy who dodged the draft 5 times. That's the wildest part. That's the
5 times. He was at Fort Bragg today, wasn't he? Talking about he was at Fort Bragg, and he announced that they're going to rename all the bases back to the Confederate names, and he waited for people to cheer. And if you look at the backdrop, right, because you know they had one chocolate chip back there, everybody's like, "Yay!" The one black dude's just like. Just sitting there because I looked at him. See, you gotta understand something. When black folks see a bunch of white folks, we look for the one and we're like, what is he doing? And literally, I'm looking at him and he's the only dude in his red beret not clapping. He's looking around like, are these people for real? Are they serious? And that's what this whole thing was about. They gave Trump a fake hat and all this other kind of stuff. But I'm telling you right now, it's not about the heritage of the military. He could give 2 damn things less about the army, right? This is about, I need my Kim Jong-un moment. I need that. I got to have it. I got to be the dictator. I need to be able to salute with my fake hair, my catheter, and my diapers in tow and be like, yeah, and my painted face and say, I'm masculine. That's what this is. That's
something
what it
for
is.
Him to make more cards and posters out of to sell to his cult.
And more broken fake ass Rolexes that he can sell to people. He can have that as the backdrop. I mean, nothing makes sense unless you look at it from him trying to make money off of it. This parade right here, which is going to cost the taxpayers how much? Those VIP packages. Again, Google this, people. It'll pop right up. How much will his personal campaign and presidential library make off of this? I can't wait to see what he does in October when the Navy turns 250 years old. Can't wait. Can't wait.
He doesn't care.
You can't drag a destroyer down Pennsylvania Avenue. So what you gonna do?
What's he gonna do?
He's doing nothing for the Marines. He's doing nothing for the Navy because they don't matter to him.
Well, that's also not on his birthday. This is that's it. This is a birthday parade for.
No, Ken. He said this is to celebrate the Army's 250th, and I'm petty. I went to Annapolis. If the Army gets it, the damn Navy gets it. So you better have something.
This is the guy. Nobody showed up to his 10th birthday party, right? He sat alone at the lunch table, and this is a damaged psyche acting out as the most powerful man in the world.
Damaged is such an understatement.
Well, literally, you're right, Sarge. Daddy didn't love him, and now the entire world is feeling the effects of it. Here's the question I have for y'all, right? Who takes the blame if a young Lance Corporal shoots an American citizen in LA? Who does the blame go to?
Well, we all know it's going to depend on the color of the skin of that
Lance Corporal.
Okay, I'm going to make it complicated for you. It is a black Lance Corporal that shoots a white woman protester that has one of those pussy hats on.
I think you just made it simpler.
Yeah, give me something hard.
Well, they got to pick which bigotry they want to follow here.
That's true. It's true.
Are they going to sit there and say law and order, and then they go like, "Oh wait, that's a Negro. We can't really back him publicly." But
can't have them shoot a white woman. They might give him ideas.
Look, the machine may blow up because the logic will cross interfaces. Boom. I'm just curious because
they were trying to do the swirl, right? Try to get the chocolate and the vanilla flavor into the same cone. Here is what they're trying to get: the flavor of both bigotries somehow.
Because I was literally sitting there watching the reports, and Gavin Newsom tweeted out the pictures of the National Guard sleeping on the floor, and
oh yeah, I
for
saw
those,
that.
dude. We all know if this was a planned, actually executed properly mission, they would have had a warrant order go out, logistics would have been in place, temporary housing, all that would have been moved down there. They would have set up camp, all of that. But no, when they're rushing to do basic just to get them down there, when they have no rules of engagement and they're still working on them, they're working on rules of engagement for people deployed in the United States of America to point their muzzles at other Americans potentially. That's how crazy this is. There's no rhyme or reason to this. This is all because Elon Musk said Trump was an Epstein files. That's what this is.
Did you all see there were 2 Reaper drones flying?
Yes, circling LA.
Did you see
MQ-9.
the AH-1 that they had up too?
They had that too?
Yeah, they had an AH-1 flying over the city.
That's a Cobra for those who don't
Oh yeah. It's an attack helicopter.
Yeah.
What was it going to do? Disperse the protesters with rounds of 30 millimeter?
Hey guys, I got to run. I just wanted to hop on to say hi to Proof of Life here.
Yeah, we're glad you're back safe, brother.
Glad you're
Because I was like, dude, I was seeing these reports, and I was like, yeah, way to go with the operator. Then I'm like, wait, isn't Ken over there? Oh crap! You know what I'm saying? We're glad that you made it back, man.
We got everybody back. You know who else I brought with me that I'm very relieved is back is Ken Casey from the Dropkick Murphys. So,
that guy, I got a whole new respect for that guy. He is hardcore.
He's a badass, walks the walk. We did a studio session of Who Will Stand With Us in Kyiv. Keep a lookout for that. We're going to be releasing the single. And Bobby, make sure to plug Geedunk Show and Valor Media.
Yeah, definitely.
Send people on over there. And love you guys.
Ken, are you running for office? I heard a rumor that you were running for office.
That is a lie.
Okay. We might have got it confused with somebody else, but I just wanted to check in and make sure.
News here.
I mean, we could draft him for office. I mean,
no, thank you. This is my cue. I love you guys.
All right.
Bye.
He's a great guy.
Man, no, but there are people who talk the talk, and then there are people who go and do the walk and the walk. Man, Ken doing that Dropkick Murphys, man. I remember when I first heard their music, I'm like, what is their bent? And now I'm starting to understand these jokers don't give a damn. You understand?
So
clips of them going after Trump.
I got a quick story for you. I want to say it was 97.
That's y'all. Okay, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
It was 97 or 98. I can't remember because it's fucking ages ago. I was playing bass in a band that opened for Dropkick Murphys in Atlanta at I want to say it was the Masquerade.
Oh. And
I had become aware of the Dropkick Murphys about a year and a half earlier. And I was like, okay, it's like,
yeah,
from my homeland kind of music mixed with punk rock. I was so down for it. But then for a little while, I was like, once I started, figuring out where I sat on the political spectrum, I was kind of like, blue collar dudes from Boston.
Yeah.
Might be a little conservative. And I am thankful that is not the case.
Pleasantly surprised. No,
I would give up live stream. Like if I got King Casey on and anybody else from the band that wanted to be on the stream, honestly. I'd be like, this is my last show. I'm done. I can't.
I will say this though, but like your hardcore rock and roll dude, I mean, Springsteen has been very vocal. I mean, Springsteen has really put himself out there. And I gotta be honest, I'm old enough to remember him in the 80s. That's how old I am and stuff. I listen to his music differently now after seeing where he stands, if that makes any sense.
It does.
You know what I'm saying?
Makes a lot of sense.
I'm just like, dude, this because anybody can say stuff to make the money. They can say whatever they want to make money and to placate people. But then when you talk about, okay, you got to pick a side. And he was unequivocal. And for Trump to call him out, he's like, I don't give a damn, dude. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay. Went on the iTunes, added the freaking Bruce Springsteen's essentials list. I was like, yeah, I get it. I get it. And so there are people out there, and y'all are going to start seeing more of this. And it's interesting, chat, that we're going to see more people having to pick sides, and they're going to pick them. And they're going to be demonstrative because at some point, Springsteen's a grandfather, right? At some point, even these famous people look at their kids and be like, what are we leaving them? What are we doing? Right? Now, you may have some that pick and go MAGA way. And they are banking and praying that hate wins out. But they need to understand they're going not just against the majority of Americans now, they're going against the rest of the world. I've never seen the world coalesce behind hating one other person in my lifetime like they have Donald Trump. I got friends all over the world. You know, you guys, you serve overseas, you make friends in other militaries, other government organizations, especially in the Navy. And bruh, they have all hit me up here in the last 6 months at some point saying, what the hell are y'all doing? Like I'm answering for all of America.
It's so embarrassing. Like,
it really
it's
is
extremely embarrassing.
Really is. You're just there and you're on like, you know, voice chat or something with them, and they're like, the fuck's wrong with you people? And they're like, man, I don't even know how to start this.
Because even use Europe as an example. They've had a bunch of elections, and most of those elections have been won by center-left candidates. This one in Poland was different, but even there went like a clear victory. They broke it up into 3 parties, and they have the different party systems. But it is obvious that most people are center and they lean left, at least of where Trump is. You know what I'm saying? That is the thing that's really coming. Let's start a petition to get Trump.
So see, the thing with Springsteen is, and some people don't know this, but a lot of people do. And then there are a lot of people that were completely oblivious to the fact with Springsteen, like Born in the USA is on the surface of things, it sounds exactly like what it is. But if you listen to the actual lyrics, that dude is like making it clear where he stands, but he's not out there like, you know, I fucking hate America kind of.
Some of these guys were like shocked that Springsteen would have this position, but of course these are the same guys who couldn't figure out that Rage Against the Machine wasn't for like conservative militarism,
right?
Yeah, like you guys ever listen to the lyrics? Or
no, they don't. I was about to say, it's like kids, people don't listen to lyrics.
I thought this was about my parents.
Right. Right, like hip hop, you know, they love the beat. Oh, that beat slaps. Right, he's talking about bitch slapping your mom. I mean, are you paying attention to what he's saying? You know, because words have meaning, right?
Right.
And by the way, I said this earlier with Rick Wilson today. Has anybody noticed Trump's vocabulary has greatly reduced here from his first term to this term? I think he's in possibly the beginning stages, if not full-fledged, in a dementia state. And there was 4 or 5 days last week we didn't see him at all.
Yeah.
Right. They're removing him from public appearances. I think his health is deteriorating. And I think no one wants to talk about it because, you know, they bash Biden over the head with it. But I honestly think people need to have that conversation. If it was good enough for Biden, if it, you know, hell, Reagan, that happened and no one wanted to talk about it. Right.
Match that energy. Where is it?
Yeah.
That energy is gone because just like the energy of states' rights, I don't hear anybody saying that for California.
Yeah, no kidding. They were all about that when it was
Where
about
is Tommy Tuberville? You know what I'm saying?
he's busy bitching that Newsom didn't do a very good job running it, and Newsom hit him back with, hey, my murder rate is 1/3 the rate yours is. Maybe you should fix that first.
Yeah, Tuberville shouldn't talk about running anything. He couldn't run the damn football as a damn football coach. So I mean, let alone a state. You know, that guy, he hits me in ways, he ticks me off in ways that are just astronomical. His ignorance, he is prideful, the prime example of a mediocre man that gets to the front because he's a mediocre man and people are like, I identify with him.
Mm-hmm.
I want my leaders to be smarter than me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
You can call it what you want to. Barack Obama spoiled me because of his high education, and to hear him speak, I'm like, that man has intelligence. Now it's like, can I have a beer with the guy, or do I want to go hang out with? I don't want to hang out with the damn president. I need the president to tell me what the hell's going on when things are serious.
I remember that around the 2000 election of, but which one would you want to have a beer with? Motherfucker, I don't need another guy having a beer with me. I need someone to run a goddamn country.
I remember that. What is it?
Stupid fucking
someone
question.
Introduce everyone again. Yeah, Sarge, you might want to do the round robin, introduce everybody. Tennessee Bears thing that you don't remember.
I am admin Jen.
She's gonna kill you.
And down there is admin Elo.
Outed.
I'm guest appearance Commander Bobby Jones, retired U.S. Navy. So I'm president of Veterans for Responsible Leadership. All of y'all that are in the chat, if y'all have not registered to be part of VFRL, I'm going to take it personal because it's free. It's free, and we need every dang last veteran that's about leadership.
What's the website for that?
It's www.vfrl.org. Free.
Victor,
and we have
Romeo
town
Lima.
halls. We have all sorts of stuff, man. Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Campbell, officer on deck. Yeah, I trust me. If Annapolis had their way, I don't know if they would have commissioned me, but I slid in right there at the very last point.
I about died laughing when I read your bio. You're like proudly graduated.
Yeah, dead last in the class of 2001. People, it's not about where you start; it's if you actually finish. Period. I don't care. It's like period.
Doesn't matter. Still finished.
Yeah, and then I wound up getting command. You guys call it field grade command and all that 05 command. So it is crazy, but yeah, and you don't have to be a veteran to be a part of the group there. Who's that? Shaka Khan. Hey, go ahead and sign up. We want people who care about veterans, care about our military, care about our defense, but more importantly, care about people responsible leading. You don't have to be a veteran to be a responsible leader. You don't have to be a veteran to give a damn about your people. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I would hope that as a veteran you are. And this is and so I keep getting this question, gentlemen, and I need y'all to simplify the answer. Why are there so many vets who are still on board with what Trump is doing?
I was talking to one just this afternoon. And
what are they saying now? Because they got to be Simone Biles to do the mental gymnastics to justify this.
Well, and just so you know, she's Navy. But I know, right? She was saying that regardless of what he said about veterans, and she doesn't believe that any of it's real. She believes that he's gonna do right by getting the country where it should be, and to reset the system so that finally people like her will be able to get ahead in life. And she genuinely believes that everything else, what comes first is her economic situation, not her status as a vet, not her status as a woman, none of that stuff.
So she's cool with the economy doing what it's been doing.
You got to remember, for someone who only gets their news out of Fox and Newsmax, they have absolutely no idea what the economy is doing.
Oh my God.
I'll post articles to a group of people from different political alignments that shows interest rates are going here, and this is what's happening with the prices for things, and they'll post back a meme where it was like something that Trump had said, and it's just like, well, not so true because the egg prices went down. I was like, asshole, they're up 80 cents this week.
Yep.
And they're like, no, this meme says otherwise. All right, that's news. Yeah, good refutal.
Cats, Amanda, and friends, you are absolutely right. There are no such things as facts to the MAGA cult, and this is where I have a problem. It used to be, even if you had different political views, people could agree on what the facts were, and the debate was how to handle the reality that is presented in front of you. That's what American politics historically has been until 2015. Now we live in this, as Kelly Conway famously put it, alternative facts.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I saw her say that live, gentlemen. My mind almost melted.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, and she put the term on what we are dealing with now. Just like apparently Trump said he called Gavin Newsom this past yesterday, and
Yeah.
Nick Newsom was like, no, he didn't. So he tweets out a picture of the outgoing phone call. First of all, it was like at 1:27 in the middle of the night. And it's just an outgoing call. You don't know if he picked it up or whatever, this, that, and the other. And if he did call him, he didn't leave a voicemail. And he showed it from his Apple phone. I'm like, what kind of professional ridiculousness is this?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm just like, man, it's the same group that gave you Signalgate, the sequel.
Exactly. In his super hackable civilian iPhone, just waiting for.
Oh my God!
What?
There is no way that the Chinese don't have a listen up on that damn phone. It just isn't.
I mean, it's like they go out of their way to show how non-serious they are.
Mm-hmm.
So when Hegseth is in trouble, he goes and finds the nearest military unit and does his sec bro routine of, let me go work out with the troops.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how about you just go over there and just PT and hang out there. Let the adults in the rooms think strategic thoughts, because you don't know what ASEAN is. You don't know what I'm saying NATO's supposed to do. You have no fundamental knowledge of these things. And here's the thing: I see now why he was booted out of the army as a major, because you should have that requisite knowledge of alliances and stuff by the time you hit 04, especially as combat deployments and all this other kind of crap. I would have drop kicked him through the uprights of life too, with the lack of knowledge that he's showing. And he's now sick deaf.
What?
I don't know how you guys in the army do it, but there's no damn way a dude in the Navy is an 04, where the Navy, we have to travel the world, don't know these things, man.
There is a unspoken mission within the Third Reich here to have the absolute worst possible person for any given assignment, whether that be SecDev, whether that
bottom
be
of the barrel.
FBI. And it's not just even the bottom of the barrel; it's the most incompetent fuck up you can find, who also hates the thing that he'll be in charge of.
Yeah, and I think you're right. It's almost like it's like everybody's there for retribution. For example, let's use Linda McMahon as an example. She is the Secretary of Education. She knows nothing about education, how it goes, blah blah. But she has run the WWE. Now, I like the WWE as far as entertainment, but I recognize that it's goddamn-tainment. I'm not going to the Rock.
What? You mean it's not real?
To ask about how many majors should be available at a state university. Because, he's going to sit there and give me Austin 316 and then put me through the damn mat. And he's going to be like, that's how many majors you should have. And he would walk off. That doesn't work in the real world. It doesn't. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, I became a WWE fan during that whole 90s, 2000 era where, it was peak.
That was a classic era.
The Attitude Era.
You know what I'm saying?
DX.
Yes. Generation DX, all of them, Triple H. It was
The
awesome.
Rock says.
Right. But I don't want them sitting there talking about how much funding goddamn high school should have to hit special needs wickets. I don't need that. I don't need them to talk about fast balloons. And then when they asked her about AI, they literally picked her for the worst position they could have gave her in the cabinet. They didn't give her small business or even medium business. They gave her education.
That's usually they were talking about A1.
Yes.
Couldn't even read her own note.
They have Pam Bondi as the lead law enforcement officer. Pam Bondi. I guess I stopped saying Blondie, but Bondi. And here's the thing: you can go on the internet right now and Google her and see videos of her acting like a drunken fool in public, a complete ham in public, right? And yet I'm supposed to look at her and be like, yes, we're going to execute this operation to go after these criminals. I don't take you serious. The second someone had to hold you back from doing something stupid in traffic, I can't. And then Hegseth, the cream de la cream. The reason I go after this guy every time I get a chance is because he is the type of officer that people who look like me had to deal with and have to fight to get past. All because he was fantastically mediocre to terrible, but he had the look.
Right.
He
had the hair.
He had the hair and the square jaw of a white mediocre male.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I walk in, they're like, why are you here? I'm like, why am I here? Here's my credentials. Why the hell are you here? Why are you here? You know what I'm saying? And he had the opportunity to go to West Point. He was like, I can't do that. That's hard. I'm going to go to Princeton. And he was at Princeton a couple of years after I was at Annapolis. I mean, trust me, I understand where he's coming from and that ilk, that frat boy. Well, at Princeton, they're eating clubs, that frat boy mentality of like, I'm here, so I'm warranted this. This is why he's going through women like socks. This is why he's allegedly beat some of them. This is why he's publicly drunk on national TV on a repeated basis. This is why, and nothing mattered to Trump but the fact that I honestly think Trump thinks he's a younger version of him if he had joined the military.
Well, of course. And he sees himself as basically having the exact same body type, exact same build. Clearly the same.
Only he worked out and Trump didn't.
Yeah. Well, he didn't have to. Just came by it naturally.
Yeah, right.
In the same way that he's 230 pounds and 6'4" and
as a dude that's kind of rotund myself, I know aerodynamically round when I see it. That brother, look, the president. We need to, and I'm saying this in all seriousness, we need to have someone do an actual, real physical and mental acuity test on him. The position is too important. Wow, whiskeyleaks.org. That is hilarious. The position is too important for us to just be like, oh, well, I trust what comes out of his mouth. It'd be different if the man had track record. I mean, I'm going to say this. They lied about Joe Biden.
Yeah.
And the Democrats that hid that little inner circle, they call it the body politic or whatever they had there, they should be held accountable for this, because we're sitting here right now dealing with this nonsense because they did not have the freaking ovarian or testicular fortitude to say, Joe, you can't run again. Because remember, when Joe Biden ran, what did we say? He said he was going to be a bridge president. One term. And instead of grooming someone else, whether it was Kamala or someone else, to be prepared to take it on, we're stuck with this.
Yep.
We're stuck with this. And now what we saw with Joe Biden is going to look like patty cake compared to what I think is happening mentally to President Trump.
I remember towards the middle of the first term, a joke with someone like, some kid in like Paraguay is going to call him something on Twitter, and then we're going to be at war with Paraguay because fuck that kid for whatever reason. And now it's like, it's less funny when he might actually fucking do it. Remember when we were going to go to war with Panama for like 48 hours or whatever?
Yeah.
They had drafted plans for the invasion. Then like he forgot about it. And like got distracted. There were some cool cat videos on his phone or something. Like, this is the level of unseriousness that you've been talking about. He was going to send people to war.
I'm glad.
And then his mind wandered off over there to get like a Big Mac or something. And now we're
and here's what's crazy, right? The people around him who knew it was crazy were just hoping and waiting that he'd forget about it.
It was I think it was General Milley said that in the first term that he had at one point was yelling that he wanted to launch a strike on Iran. He was going to bomb Iran. He was fed up with them. He was done, etc. His staff convinced him to go and sleep it off. And when he was asked about it at the staff meeting in the morning, he didn't remember it. So he was willing to send us to war, potentially a nuclear war. And then the next day doesn't even remember what the fuck he was so mad about.
I'm going to say this. I think based on, Trump and Biden, that they need to seriously look at augmenting the 25th Amendment, where the president has to be subjected to a public acuity and physical readiness test. If we have to do it as uniform members, why can't the person at the top of the damn pyramid be that person as well?
Yeah. Yeah. You'd think we should be getting to a point where the top of the chain is actually held to the highest
standard, because that's what Hex has been saying. The standard. He's used these two words more than anything I've heard of. Standard and lethality. Standard, lethality follows closely by warrior. Those three things. And I'm just like,
part of those is stripping names off of Navy ships just because it doesn't like the gays.
So tired of the word warrior. Like,
warrior
I was
culture.
down with it for a while, and now that he's over abusing it, it's turning into like the song that's really cool.
It is.
That gets played on the radio 70 times, in a 5-hour show, and
then you
like,
hear
a
the
week later,
kids'
I'm like,
mouth version of it, and you
I'm,
finally
I'm,
lose
I'm
it.
going to say something. I'm going to say something that's controversial, though. I'm going to say something that's controversial. When you look at where Hexeth is visited, right? He mostly goes to Army bases. You know what I'm saying? He's been to one Navy ship. There's a reason he don't go to Navy ships and he don't go to Navy bases, because sailors have this sixth sense of smelling through bullshit. It is unbelievable. Sailors are some of the most cynical people you'll ever meet. And you know how they clap for him at Fort Bragg Day? Sailors just sit there. They'll just literally, and they'll have one person on the side designated to start clapping when something happens. Sailors just sit there like, look around. I'm serious. We are the most cynical sons of bitches, which is why I love being in the Navy. But understand, he goes to friendly audiences when he feels like he is under attack, both him and Trump. That is the one thing that they have in common. And we've seen that. We've seen that repeatedly in the first 6 months. So it's kind of where I'm at on all this stuff, man. I just think it's hilarious. If it wasn't so sad. Yeah, we are in a constitutional crisis, and we have to remind our fellow brothers and sisters that are still wearing the uniform that there's an oath that you took. The legality of what you're going to be asked to do is going to be in question. And unfortunately, the legal system moves much slower than we deploy. And once you let those rounds out of a chamber, they can't come back. They can't come back. There's no recall button on that, especially when you're talking about the streets of freaking LA. What's next? Chicago, New York. Have you noticed that the raids that have happened mostly in blue cities, blue states, blue this, blue that?
Basically. And they all are in minority neighborhoods because, as someone pointed out on Blue Sky, I can't remember the gentleman's name, and I apologize for not giving you credit.
Phoenix.
There are 660,000 illegal immigrants estimated from European countries. We have deported zero of them. We're not looking for them. We're not trying to find them. We don't want to know about it.
I think we rounded a couple up, though. Just
do we accidentally get them?
Yeah, they got scooped up. Like when you cut your grass, you get a couple pine cones in the bag too. I mean, what
the hell's this guy doing here?
I feel that because I just cut my grass like
exactly
Thursday.
It was accidental. I mean, and everybody knows the reasoning why. But the question I'm continuously asking my friends is: America a look, or is America an ideal? Is it an ideal, or is it a look? We have to decide that now. We've said it's been one thing for 250 years, and now our feet are to the fire on what we are. Is it about people who come from any background that agree with the ideas of what the country's supposed to be? Or is it simply, hey, it looks this way, and then we can act like tyrants?
Or are we pushing a nonsense narrative about white genocide? So we scoop up 63 immigrants from South Africa to be brought in because that was the urgent thing. We're rescuing them. We're saving them as we send back Afghani Christians to get slaughtered by the Taliban.
Man, I was this close to calling Wakanda to force that plane down. I was like, good Lord, what are we doing? Because I thought, to be honest with you, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I thought it was an Onion article the first time I heard this pop into my queue. I'm like, oh man, the Onion's back at it again. Because they literally were like, white South Africans suffering from genocide getting granted asylum in the United States. I'm like, you got me, Onion. Then I was like, oh my God, this is real.
And then you see it's the New York Times. You're like, fuck. And one of them's they've already had a murder committed by one of them here in the United off his wife. But it's weird. Fox News, got here, lived here for like a week, murdered his wife in a rage.
Why? Do we know why? Like,
got mad, got angry.
Wow.
And it's weird. We haven't heard a word about that on Fox News, or how we need to look at all the immigrants or stop all the immigrants from South Africa. We need to slow it all down. Just block it all off till we, know what's going on. Till we can figure it all out.
You guys are trying to bring me down, but I'm not going to bring you down. Hey, if you guys have not registered to go to a No Kings rally, I'm pretty sure there's one near where you live Saturday.
There are.
Go. That is the last thing I'm gonna leave you guys with. Go, because right now there are millions of people who have registered to go to these things, and if you want to stick it to Trump, make it where all the news covers all these rallies and not his parade in DC. And that's the perfect way to get back at him, but at the same time, not disrespect the army while they're doing their march. And hey, we support you guys, but we got stuff we got to do over here. And so we don't want to protest y'all, but we're going to protest over here. It's perfect.
As you were, don't stand up on my account. Sorry, I'm just here to observe.
Thank you for blessing us with your presence.
I'll be in the office all day.
I'll be in the office all day.
Well, hey, Drill Sergeant, I'm glad you're here because I have to jump off because I actually have to go, I don't know, cook or something like that. But you guys say, hey, y'all invite me anytime y'all invite me. Y'all know I'll come on, man. I love talking to y'all, man. Y'all keep it real over here.
Oh, I missed it. I came too late. I knew it.
No, you didn't miss much. And trust me, I passed the black man baton to you. Y'all go sprint.
All right. I'm here. I'll hold it well, my friend.
I was actually going to be wrapping this up because I can't do a long show tonight.
Okay, yeah.
Reasons.
Well, I want to show up and say, hey, then.
It's the 30 seconds of the Drill Sergeant Doug.
I mean, now everybody can leave. This is what they were waiting for.
We just all drop off, and it's just Doug just sitting there like, where'd everybody go?
What's happening?
That's what happens when you're like, a band that just got its number one single on their first album. And they go to the first big concert and they play that song first. Everybody listens and then they peace out for the other.
It's like that you learn quickly as that band. You wait till the end for that song.
And speaking of bands, so you put the Getting Ken from Dropkick Murphys on as like your top absolute thing, and that would be really awesome. But gotta ask, Ken from Dropkick Murphys, Jasmine Crockett. Ooh. Why you gotta make him choose between his favorite kids? Why you gotta choose?
Yeah. You got this. I knew you were gonna do that. Somehow you started in on that. I was like, oh
no, that's easy, man. That's easy. Dropkick Murphys. I love Jasmine Crockett, but I just know I'm gonna have a lot more fun when that guy comes on.
The thing I'm gonna tell you, the thing that made me a fan of theirs for life, as long as they don't come out and say some fucking weird right-wing shit. The thing that made me a fan of theirs for life, even though I was already a big fan, the album The Warrior's Code, there is a song that is called The Last Letter Home, and it is essentially excerpts from letters written by a Marine named Andrew Farrar, who was in Iraq. And he was a massive fan of Dropkick Murphys and wrote letters to his wife and said, hey, can you send me my Dropkick Murphys albums over here because we got a CD player and I want to listen to them. And then he made a joke. And he said, if I die over here, have somebody play Dropkick Murphys' Fields of Athenry at my funeral. Andrew Farrar was killed in Iraq, not in combat, but he went into a shower and the contractors had not done a good job and there was exposed wiring and water on the floor and he was electrocuted. So his wife wrote a letter to the Dropkick Murphys and said, hey, my husband was a huge fan of yours. He was killed in Iraq. Would it be okay if we played Fields of Athenry at his funeral? They fucking showed up to the funeral and played an unplugged version of Fields of Athenry at that guy's funeral. And then took excerpts from his letters to his wife and wrote a whole song called "The Last Letter Home."
Wow!
Put it on their album.
Wow!
Didn't know you were going to end the show so heavy, Sarge.
Speaking of which, June 14th, don't be in DC. Don't go to protest. Don't go to try and Tiananmen Square a tank. Don't go in a clown suit. Just don't be there. Don't be anywhere near the city. Go somewhere local. Go do a No Kings protest like we've been talking about. Check your state capitals. Get on Sons of Liberty Discord and get hooked up with getting vetted for Signal, and we'll tell you where the protests are going to be for that weekend. Upcoming live streams. Next week, I'll have Malcolm Ritchie, who is running for Congress in Ohio. Malcolm is a retired Army officer who's also an active member of the Fam of Liberty. And the week after that, we'll have Sonny from Tell the People. And big news, at a special time this coming week, we've got Deja Fox, a prospective candidate running for Congress in Arizona. If you don't know who Deja Fox is, go follow her on like all the socials known to man, because she's got them. Read up on her story. She is awesome. What else we got?
Memes. We got a lot of memes. Jesus, we got a lot of memes.
Dropkick Murphys.
I wish.
Have to reach out to our.
I have been thinking on how to make that happen.
It's pretty loud as hell right now.
I can almost hear the public relations team just going like, "Oh fuck me, he wants what?"
They know. They know.
Well, they definitely know.
We reached out to them, and their management was like, "Hey, we can't ever do it. That we can't be on that show. Thanks. Good luck with everything. Bye." I have the reply somewhere, but it didn't come from them. It came from like their management or their PR or whomever. Yeah. So
I'm sure they got to
saw the name and were like, "Nah, fuck these dudes."
Because like every jackass with a web show on YouTube is, I'm sure, going to reach out to him all the time. And
yeah,
we lost Doug.
Yeah,
Ninja vanish.
Oh, he back.
Oh, this time without sound. It's interesting. It's a different version. The sound-free version of Admin Doug. The sound-free frozen video version of Admin Doug. You're getting an evolution tonight, folks.
All right. Am I back? Can you hear me?
And now you're back. Yeah.
Okay. So listen, I can tell you exactly what happened. You sent the message. They almost read it. They saw the Sons of Liberty signed and the beard and said, "The fuck do you think this is?" We're not about that life. We're not with that right wing. They I'm sure the minute they saw, they just pressed. They didn't. The key didn't even come back up from them pressing it, and they saw the sign and said, "Oh, this is some right wing bullshit."
I mean, we got some of that reaction in DC to the flag and everything. It's just, people were very, very misinformed about who we were and what we were about.
Remember that old lady that was bawling you out on the sidewalk? She was the little.
Oh, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was James.
Oh yeah,
James. That she was yelling at and questioning his service and
yeah. She was. Oh, and Scott too, because he had the big flag. Scott, if you're watching,
but that comes with taking on the mantle of taking the signs back, right?
Yeah,
like know that's part of it. That's the thing you're gonna have to go through, and every time we do one of these, God bless you people who always go. I'm always in the background of CRT, but I'm always seeing more and more pictures of people who understand it, who get it. and more and more stories of people who get it. So I think last time we had some congressmen or congresswomen come out and take pictures with the Sons of Liberty flag. Like, slowly but surely, that's gonna change, man. They will not own this stuff any longer, and it's happening rapidly.
Absolutely. All right, Big Sarge, there's your opening.
Yep. Right, we're waiting on you, bro.
I got nothing.
All right.
You light him up for a cue. This happens.
It's not
it's not
the day for that. Yeah.
It's been a challenging few days for me. So
I hear. Hopefully, pray tell, we hear the full legend someday.
Yeah. And it was the absolute worst time for my computer to act like it didn't know that we needed to step up, because it just broke down at the minute that I was needed. It was broken down. So I hopefully it's starting to work a lot better now, but that was tough.
I feel like that shit happens to me like every time I go to launch a live stream.
It does. We can keep it tally.
Yeah, somebody's keeping score out here. Well, that's it then. I came in late. It's what I get.
The early bird gets the squeaky wheel.
Right.
Remember, Doug, we're not mad, just disappointed.
I'd rather you be disappointed. Yeah. You don't want to see me when I'm angry. All right, guys. Well, that's it then. Thanks everybody for joining us. We appreciate it.
All right. Still, the deal still stands. If you got contact with Dropkick Murphys, Jasmine Crockett, AOC, and who is the other one we're talking about? Can't remember.
You'll take any big
way. At this point,
tier one is tier one, right? You get the big get. That's a great draw in for an audience.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with being honest. Honestly, I'm happy we're able to get the people we're able to get. I mean, we get some great guests on here.
Yeah, it's not to say that the guests that we've had on have not been worth it or are not up to caliber. It's just there's no way that I will ever say like, oh well, why have Jasmine Crockett on your show when you have Big Sarge? Actually, I wouldn't even. I would just say, hey, can I be on your show? Because fucking so far I've been on like 2 shows, I think. 21st Century Suffragettes and Political Drain. Oh, and I'm sorry, and Jessica Denson show. So,
Oh, speaking of that,
like, oh, not that guy. He'll come on and be like, I fucked your mom.
Well, I mean that is your main draw. It's what the audience tunes in for.
Speaking of that, I did get to go on Josh's show, or if you guys remember, The Enemy from Within, the truck driver guy.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hilarious. Growing like crazy, like hotcakes over there. Yeah, he invited me to come on the show to talk about what was going on in LA, and I did it. It should be up now.
Sweet. Excellent.
Yep. So we did that. We did that interview yesterday, I think, and I think he put it up this morning, like 10. So if you guys, I think there's 2 names. The one is The Enemy from Within, and then he has something about like they're eating the cats or something like that. It's hilarious.
Wait a minute. How come you get to be on shows and I don't?
You just said you were on 3.
I am.
Y'all are going on shows?
You just named 3. I get invited to one. This guy's like, "Hey,
you've been on
what's
3.
going on
Doug's been
over
on
here?"
1. I've been on 0. He's jealous of the 1.
You're on this show like every week.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah. So he, let me see. I think what happened was, you guys don't have Butterfly, man. She's the secret weapon for me. Butterfly. Shout out to Butterfly Screams. You know who you are. She's a secret weapon. Been holding it down for me and the media team for what is that, like 3 months now? 4 months?
Chat, right? Janet's
yes.
chat.
Well, definitely, but
like that chat.
But I wanted to give a special one. I wanted to give a special one to Butterfly. Jay, you know I love you too. You can't show both of them the same amount, right? On screen. That's what you do on the phone. Hey, oh, you know I love you. No, it's you, baby.
I don't know anything about that.
I don't know nothing about it. You wouldn't actually. You're probably okay. It's all good.
I'm up front with that shit.
Yeah.
I'm not playing no fucking games. Like, you know what? I'm not here for a long time, just for a good time.
I love it. All right. And now that I've successfully caused the trouble that we've been waiting on, where is this guy? Well, you guys can find it. The Enemy from Within. Anyway.
Oh, is my mic on for that?
A little bit.
She's got them shorts on. Gotta go.
All right, guys.
All right, go anyway. But
of all the things you've hot mic'd, that's not even top 5.
What? That was like 17 years ago, though. People still talk about that.
Still counts.
They're like,
I don't know,
cautionary tale from 2008. Don't have voice activated on when you're having sex with your more than once.
It is good advice.
I like
that.
that
whole unit's on.
Well, here we go. All right, I found the link. I'm gonna put it in the stream.
The link. What link? Oh.
But turns out I'm not even a part of the chat, so I had to put it in private. That's what happens when you come late.
Yeah, it
fails.
Is.
Epic fails, guys. Before I fail anymore, let's get out of here.
This is 10 demerits for House of Drill Sergeant.
Right. This is gonna end up being a mandatory 78-hour shift.
All right.
You were stuck with a safety brief for it.
That is going to be my show, our show, the show, Doug's show, Matt's show. That's going to be the show for tonight. Gotta go take some medicines and stuff.
That's what we're calling it these days. Taking some medicine, eh?
You know what I'm not doing right.
We're still live, boss. We're still live
all night. I know we're still live. I'm saying, like, there's a reason that I'm not.
I can't. Where's them 2 claps and a Rick coming, man?
I don't have the strength for that.
A little blue pill. Thank you, Robert.
I got you. 2 claps and a Rick.
And a Rick.
Woo!
Just woke the dog up.